Welcome to the final day of the 1976 Henley Royal Regatta. And let's take advantage now of this wonderful view with our camera on the Henley Church as we swing left towards the Henley course. And there we have the famous Leander Club in the foreground. On the left of your picture, the boat tents and the quays where the boats are put afloat. Now as we move further left, we have the Henley course. 1 mile, 550 yards long. One of the hardest courses in the world. And on this hot summer's afternoon, it's a day for everybody. There's the course again, enclosures completely full. We're waiting now for the final of the Grand Challenge Cup between Thames Tradesmen and Leander. This is the blue ribbon of the Henley Royal Regatta. The strokeman of Tradesman, Brown, just getting ready, mopping his brow. Milligan, Roberts, Bales, an experienced performer here, Wilson, Birch, Cusack, Malin from a famous boxing family. Leander, Innes, Tatton, Innes, the brother of the bowman, Hardingham, King, Woodward Fisher, Gregory, and the strokeman Rankin. There we have the Cox of the Leander crew, Lee, and on the nearest to you, the Thames Tradesman Cox. This is the main event of the day, the Grand Challenge Cup. Crews now under starters' orders. Tremendous tension here, tremendous battle between these crews, no love lost between them. Arguments over the start of this race. They've agreed at 1 o'clock. We remember both crews having to double up here today. Tradesmen, the Prince Philip and the Stewards, and Leander and the Prince Philip. But a lot of arguments between them when this big race of the day should be held. Normally it would have been at 3 o'clock in the middle of the afternoon programme. And they're off. Good start by both. Leander perhaps getting half a stroke in as the crews now go down along the island. A little rough blade work there. A lot of nervous tension. Each now fighting for this initial gain. And crews in these opening strokes dead level. Now some untidy blade work there from Leander. Little rough there. And it looks as if they might just have problems. Yes, they have indeed. It looks as if they've hit something. And Leander have slewed across the river. How incredible in these opening stages of the race. And Leander already out of it. Thames Tradesmen on the left of the screen, rowing down the course. But I wonder what's happened to Leander. If they've had an accident and it's through their own mistake, then there's going to be no re-row. But they looks to me as if they could have hit something and already were ready for the next race. Princess Alexandra, who's graced this occasion, together with John Garton, chairman of the management committee. This is the final of the Princess Elizabeth Cup between Emanuel School, nearest to you, and the favourites Holy Spirit High School for the United States. And Holy Spirit High School are 23 pounds a man heavier than Emanuel. They are strong favourites for this event. Again, a blue riband for the schools competing at Henley. There we have Emanuel. Triplets in this crew, the stroke Nigel Roberts, behind him his brother Clive Roberts, and in the boat Graham Roberts. But as we picked the race up halfway, Holy Spirit High School, as we expected, have half a length advantage over Emanuel, but Emanuel are clinging on. There's the Holy Spirit High School, very tough, tall schoolboys. But these youngsters from Emanuel School in Wandsworth are holding on more than anyone would have expected here. And the Americans on the left of your screen, just now, half a length. You can see the signal going up there. That's the signal, just shows half a length. We would have expected at this stage 2 or 3 lengths over Emanuel, but these plucky schoolboys from Wandsworth are holding on. And this could be a surprise in this regatta, because when we saw the Americans at Nottingham a week ago, they looked exceptional. There are the London schoolboys now, the bottom of your screen, holding on the right of your screen now, as we come into the last 200 metres of the race. And the Americans, they can't seem to lift their rate. The lighter schoolboys are going for a higher rate to hold on, and the higher rate could bring them through. The enclosures now beginning to stand, beginning to roar, beginning to sense that a real race on here. The Americans beginning to struggle. The Emanuel schoolboys coming back with every stroke. This could be a sensational finish. We've got less than 50 metres. There we are. There's the finish of the race. The Americans just holding on, just by 2/3 of a length as they cross the finishing line. An incredible performance by the London schoolboys. We never expected it. The Americans now just coasting down. They must be fatigued, really fatigued. But some people haven't taken everything off here at Henley despite the weather. Perhaps they've removed jackets in the Royal Enclosure. There we have a terrific scene. Long dresses, Victorian boater. This is all part of Henley. And now the surprise of the day. The umpire has ruled that an outside agency interfered with the race, and we have now the rerun of the Grand. And let's hope this time they make the full course. Tremendous start by both crews. They slipped away like snakes, very, very high. Nothing between them at all. They are dead level at this stage of the race, and the opening acceleratory strokes out of the blocks. And there we have them, Thames tradesmen on the right of the screen, Leander on the left. And remember, this is the big prestige event of Henley. And both crews now were starting to come towards the centre of the course. The coxers getting back on again. There we have a terrific view of Leander in full stride. Cox roaring them on. But tradesmen just holding on, perhaps by half a length. And this could be a balancing point of the race. There's a tradesman crew. 4 of them disappointed men. They never made the Olympic Games. This would be tremendous compensation for them. Just holding on to a narrow edge there over Leander. Struggling for more space between the two crews. Liam Brown struggling there for a little more length. Leander again trying a late attack, ranking the stroke, looking over, driving Leander on. Leander making a spare, but tradesmen have answered. Tradesmen have answered just in time, and they're holding on now by half a length. There's a tradesman crew. Experienced, just holding on. Smooth running crew. It looks like Leander's effort could be spent, but we've still got 200 metres in this race to go. And Rankin, the Leander stroke, driving them. There's a signal going up. Tradesman in front. There's a number 1 for tradesman. Leander, number 2. Something like half a length down as we come into the very final stages of the race. The Thames tradesman Cox looking over, a final glance, urging his crew on. Leander now. They look spent. It looks like tradesmen have got it. Liam Brown really driving his crew on. Tremendous experience here. Yes, there we have it. Leander coming slightly across the course, but tradesmen going for clear water. I doubt whether they'll get it. Remember, this is the rerun. And there we have tradesmen now approaching the finishing line. Just 2/3 of a length ahead of their rivals, Leander Club, here of Henley. And tradesmen now approaching the line. Just less than 50 metres to go. It's a final cautious glance at their opponents, but they know they've got it in the bag. And they cross the line 2/3 of a length ahead of their arch rivals, Leander. Tired, exhausted, but no doubt happy. This is a big one in their pockets. The distance officially, 2/3 of a length. Time 6 minutes, 25 seconds. Slowest conditions. This could be the end of the English drought. A sudden storm, it's been threatening for the last hour. We've had forked lightning, and now we have difficult conditions on the course. People scamping, coats on, umbrellas up. What a turnover. But this is the start of the Thames Cup between the local heroes of Henley Rowing Club and Harvard, will be on the far side of the course, who've only lost this race once when they've come across the Atlantic. They lost it last year for the first time ever on one of their overseas trips here to Henley. But there's going to be a lot of people shouting for Henley, the local heroes. They've never won here at Henley. Cox is now ready. Go! And they're off. The final of the Thames Cup. Tremendous stuff by both crews. Henley on the left of your scene with the black blades, carbon fibre oars. Very good start. They survived a disaster in the semi-finals when one of the oars came out of the oarlock and could have lost them a chance here for the final. Very good start by them. Here they are on the right of the screen now as we look at them. And Harvard, a powerful crew, have only opened once in this regatta, and that was in the semi-final round. But this could be a classic race. And we can see the signal on the right-hand side. Henley, in fact, have got a small lead of perhaps a canvas over the much-fancied Harvard crew. There we have Harvard. Stroke gives the rhythm. Behind him, the engine room. The technicians in the back nearest to. It's a very skillful boat to row. And the crews at this moment are dead level. Looks a slight difference. Henley on the right seems slightly ahead, but they are dead level at this stage. It's a key race for both of them. Harvard do not want to be dishonoured twice, and Henley want that first victory. And Henley now just peeping ahead, perhaps a few feet. There we have the Henley crew. And everything going into this race. This is the big one for them, the end of the season. And there we have the Cox with his life belt on, obviously a non-swimmer, Dick Woodward. Harvard now showing ahead, and there we have the Korean-American Cox, Harry Yu, pushing his crew on. Obviously a swimmer, no life jacket, but Harvard coming through now. Maybe they have a quarter of a length, but the race is still wide open. And Henley now, look at the stroke man, he's pushing now, he's pushing for more distance. The Harvard stroke pulling them along, pushing for more distance as we reach the closing stages of the race. And Henley are beginning to answer. Henley are coming back. And Dick Richardson, the stroke, look at him, he's bending his arms, he's putting everything into it, and his crew are responding. And we've now reached the enclosures. Harvard have given a lead of perhaps a few feet, and Harvard could be in trouble here. And the shout from the crowd is unbelievable. They're all on their feet, willing the local heroes home. The crews are dead level now with perhaps 200 metres to go. And Dick Richardson, look at him pulling that crew along. What guts, what stamina this boy's got. Here we have the shot now, the final stages of the race. Crews dead level. Whoever puts the push in now will take this race. Is it going to be Harvard on the left of your screen, or is it going to be Henley? Harvard are responding first. The Harvard stroke lifting the rate. Harvard just creeping inches ahead. Henley are holding on. Henley are coming back again. Henley could do it. Harvard now just switching on again. Final effort by the Harvard Cox. Harvard just coming across the line. What a fantastic race, an unbelievable race. So there we are. Harvard, plenty to celebrate about. We only saw them really opening up once. That was in the semi-final rounds. They're exhausted but happy. But what a race they received from Henley. And there's a salutation from the Harvard stroke. You can hardly believe how tough it was. Well, I think that's one of the best races I've ever seen at Henley. And so be it with the local heroes from Henley. Tremendous support here from them.
When the weather is fine, you know it's a sign for messing about on the river. If you take my advice, there's nothing so nice as messing about on the river. There are long boats and short boats and all sorts of craft, and cruisers and keelboats and some with no draft. So take off your coat and hop in a boat, go messing about on the river. There are boats made for kids that reach you in bits for messing about on the river. Or you might like to scull in a fiberglass hull, just messing about on the river. There are tillers and rudders and anchors and cleats and ropes that are sometimes referred to as sheets. with the wind in your face. There's no finer place than messing.
We're just waiting now the final of the Stewards, which will be a unique event for Thames tradesmen if they can pull this off. There we have the course, this difficult course, and here we have now the race we've been waiting for. Thames tradesmen on the left of the screen, and the University of British Columbia and Vancouver Rowing Club on the right of the screen in the final of the Stewards. And if tradesmen can pull this off, it will mean a unique triple. They've already taken the Grand, they've taken the Prince Philip, and here we have 4 from the Grand crew. But sadly, in the early stages of this race, they are trailing and they are looking tired. 3 times down the course in one day is really too much. But these are boys I know very well. 3 of them I've coached this year, so I've got some personal interest riding with them. And I know how fatigued they must be. Bit disillusioned about rerunning the Grand, but they were made to do it. They had to do it or give up the race, and the Grand was the big prize for the club. But if they can pull off 3 at Henley in one day, it has never been achieved before. And you can see now the tiredness in the blades. If you look at Thames tradesmen on the left, the timing of the blades is slightly out. Vancouver on their first run of the day, smooth work, and now leading Thames tradesmen by a length and a half, and that's a long way to pull up, but there's a long way yet to go in this race. Oh, there we have Vancouver. They've come a long way too, something like 6,000 miles for this one race, and they've had one straight final. They're looking smooth, and they know they've got tired men at the end of the string here. And tradesmen in trouble at the moment, steering to the left and to the right of the course. But look, there's Cusack looking back, the stroke man. A lot of guts in this crew. 3 of them are East Enders, 1 from Wallingford. The stroke is from Wallingford, the local crew here, 13 miles away from Henley. There's the gap. It's a long way to make up. It's a long way to make up as we pass the halfway stage. But don't finish off Thames tradesmen yet, because I know them. They're gutty, and they're going to have a go. Also, they know under their belts that they beat this crew last week by 6 lengths. 6 lengths when they were fresh men. But now look at the difference as tired men. Tradesmen drifting a little to the centre of the course. Remember, they must keep to their stations. And you can see now on the shot on your screen, tradesmen to the left of your picture have come right over off their station, and they are in danger here, because if they accelerate here, and you can see the orange bows of their boat moving up very closely on the Canadians, if they spurt here and hit the Canadians, they're going to be disqualified. If they have to move out of the way to get back on station, they're going to lose distance. You can see them now, they're moving back on their station. They have a chance here if they spurt. They're looking back, they know there's a chance here. They've come back, the steering's gone again. They're so tired they cannot keep their boat straight. And now they've got to move out again. That's going to cost them half a length. Now they're looking for the home run. They've got clear water. Now they're going for it. They've got a chance. They sense the kill, and they're going for it. The Canadians are tired. Tradesmen are coming through with every stroke. Have they got to do it? We're reaching the no, they have just missed it, I think, by a third of a length. How sad. Tired men, they tried their best. Their steering had gone. They brought the boat back on course, but to no avail. Tradesmen have lost a unique treble, the Grand, the Prince Philip, and the Stewards, but I can feel for them. I can feel for them, and the Grand at least is some consolation. Canadians, they're knocking the fatigue out of their legs. They've done better than they ever expected. They sensed they would trail in this race. And there we have it, the end of the 1976 Henley Royal Regatta, the 1 mile, 550-yard course. It's been a memorable regatta with many, many records. Almost a still painting as we leave you now.